Electronics and Communication Engineering, ECE, is one of the most versatile and rapidly evolving fields, blending principles of electronics, telecommunications, signal processing, embedded systems, and digital communication. Graduates from this discipline often find opportunities across industries such as telecommunications, semiconductor manufacturing, information technology, defense, consumer electronics, and even healthcare technology. Because the scope of ECE is so wide, interviews for these roles tend to focus not only on technical knowledge but also on problem-solving skills, project experiences, and communication abilities. When preparing for an ECE interview, candidates must keep in mind that recruiters are assessing both theoretical understanding and the ability to apply concepts to real-world scenarios. For instance, knowing the principles of modulation or semiconductor devices is important, but being able to discuss how these concepts fit into practical systems is even more critical. Many interviewers also ask situational or behavioral questions to evaluate teamwork, adaptability, and project management skills. A well-rounded preparation, covering technical knowledge, personal confidence, and clear communication, can help candidates stand out. Question 1. Tell me about yourself. This is often the first question, and it gives you the chance to set the tone of the interview. Here's how you can answer. I am an electronics and communication engineering graduate with strong interests in embedded systems and communication networks. During my academic years, I worked on several projects, such as developing a low-power IoT device and working on FPGA-based signal processing applications. These experiences gave me both technical knowledge and practical problem-solving skills. Apart from academics, I also enjoy collaborating on group projects, which has helped me improve my teamwork and communication abilities. I'm excited about this role because it allows me to apply my knowledge in real-world applications and continue learning from industry experts. Tip: structure your introduction to highlight your technical foundation, relevant projects, and your enthusiasm for applying knowledge in practical ways. Question 2. Why did you choose electronics and communication engineering? Employers want to understand your motivation and passion for this field. Here's how you can answer. I chose ECE because it lies at the intersection of innovation and application. From smartphones to satellites, electronics and communication play a vital role in shaping modern life. I've always been fascinated by how signals can travel across long distances or how complex systems like microprocessors can power everyday devices. The versatility of ECE excites me because it allows me to work in multiple industries while continuously learning and growing. Tip: share your personal motivation and curiosity about the field rather than giving a generic answer. Question 3. Can you explain the difference between analog and digital communication? This is a fundamental technical question that tests your core understanding. Here's how you can answer. Analog communication transmits information as a continuous signal, such as voice transmitted over a telephone line, whereas digital communication represents data in binary form, using zeros and ones. Analog signals are more prone to noise and distortion, while digital signals offer better noise immunity and can be compressed or encrypted more easily. Most modern communication systems, including mobile networks and the internet, rely heavily on digital communication for efficiency and reliability. Tip: keep your explanation simple, use comparisons, and, if possible, link it to real-life examples. Question 4. What do you know about modulation techniques? Interviewers often test whether you understand communication principles. Here's how you can answer. Modulation is the process of varying a carrier signal to transmit information. There are several techniques, such as amplitude modulation, AM, frequency modulation, FM, and phase modulation, PM. For example, AM varies the amplitude of the carrier wave, while FM changes its frequency. Digital modulation techniques like QAM and PSK are widely used in modern systems because they allow efficient use of bandwidth and better noise resistance. An example is 4G and 5G mobile communication, which relies on advanced digital modulation techniques to support high data rates. Tip: give both definitions and applications so that your answer sounds practical, not just theoretical. Question 5. Can you describe a project you worked on during your studies? Employers are interested in how you applied your skills. Here's how you can answer. One of my key projects was developing an IoT-based home automation system. We used microcontrollers, sensors, and Wi-Fi modules to allow remote control of appliances through a mobile app. I was responsible for integrating the communication protocol and ensuring low power consumption. The project gave me experience in embedded systems, coding, and teamwork. More importantly, it showed me how classroom concepts could be transformed into real-world applications. Tip: highlight your role, technical contributions, and the impact of the project. Question 6. How do you approach problem-solving in technical situations? Problem-solving ability is essential in engineering roles. Here's how you can answer. When I face a technical challenge, I first break down the problem into smaller parts to identify where the issue lies. For example, in a signal processing project, if the output isn't as expected, I start by checking the input signal quality, then move on to the filter design, and finally test the hardware implementation. By systematically isolating the issue, I can troubleshoot efficiently. I also believe in documenting the process so future troubleshooting becomes easier. Tip: demonstrate structured thinking and give an example that shows your logical approach. Question 7. What programming languages or tools are you familiar with? ECE roles often require coding and tool knowledge. Here's how you can answer. I am proficient in C and Python, which I've used for microcontroller programming and data analysis. I also have hands-on experience with MATLAB for signal processing and simulations. Additionally, I've worked with VHDL and Verilog for FPGA design. On the software side, I am familiar with tools like Multisim and Cadence for circuit design and simulation. I'm always eager to learn new tools depending on project requirements. Tip: mention languages and tools you're confident in, but also show willingness to learn. Question 8. How do you keep up with the latest developments in technology? Technology in ECE evolves quickly, so employers want candidates who are proactive learners. Here's how you can answer. I regularly follow journals like IEE Spectrum and websites that publish updates on electronics and communication technologies. I also take online courses on platforms such as Coursera and Udemy to expand my skills. For instance, I recently completed a course on 5G technology, which gave me insights into the future of wireless communication. Attending webinars and networking with peers also helps me stay updated. Tip: show that you are proactive, curious, and willing to continuously learn. Question 9. What are your strengths and weaknesses as an engineer? This question measures self-awareness. Here's how you can answer. My strength is my ability to adapt quickly and learn new technologies. For example, when working on FPGA systems, I initially struggled with hardware description languages but took the time to practice and became proficient. My weakness is that I sometimes focus too much on technical perfection, which can slow me down. However, I've been working on balancing accuracy with efficiency by setting realistic timelines. Tip: be honest, but frame weaknesses in a way that shows improvement. Question 10. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Employers want to know your career goals. Here's how you can answer. In 5 years, I see myself as a skilled engineer working on advanced communication technologies, possibly in areas like IoT or 5G, 6G systems. I also aim to take on leadership responsibilities where I can guide junior engineers and contribute to larger projects. Most importantly, I want to keep learning and growing with the evolving industry. Tip: align your career aspirations with the company's growth areas. Final tips for ECE interviews. ECE interviews test both your academic knowledge and your ability to apply concepts in practical scenarios. To prepare effectively, revise your core subjects such as digital electronics, communication systems, and microprocessors. Be ready to explain your projects in detail and highlight the skills you gained. Employers also value soft skills like teamwork, adaptability, and communication, so don't overlook those aspects. Confidence and clarity are key. Even if you don't know an answer, it's better to explain your thought process rather than staying silent. Show enthusiasm for technology and a willingness to learn, because these qualities are just as valuable as technical expertise. With the right preparation and mindset, you can handle the interview with confidence and leave a lasting impression.